Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Last session, we did fix a few more things to we fixed the Anim Object Render update and the logic update here. The WW Sync update, yeah. So now the question is, do we commit to that? I think so. Step at frame time. So we have yeah, I think we can remove this. Now the question is, do we also want to delete this constant here? Bind the W sync time to the logic updates. Changing this required taking old raw code that concerns logic, time saving, locomotion, physics. Tweak. This binds the WW 3D sync. Updates to the logic update. So concerns the 3D time step. Okay. And then we can remove this here. Okay. Has updated. False. True. False. Start new game. False. Yeah. Do we actually need to set it to false here? Because if we have the pre-updates, start new game. Set defaults. Let's start new I wonder if we can minimize this. Has updated. Has updated. Updates. Start new game. What does it call? Start new game calls updates. Called from update. Start new game is called from updates. Is that so? Start new game. Aha. 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 In updates. I think it's fine then. Good. Then we would say bind, say bugfix ww3d bind the ww3d sync to the logic step. Okay. Good. Now we still have one issue where we observed that the rotor blades are moving. How do we say? Let me open the recording. Here, fraps. So the rotor blades may move after the unit moved. Well, they're not in sync. Okay, how do we get these guys in sync? I think it's not that important, but it would be good, I think, if all movements are in sync on one frame. How do we do that? We would first need to identify what exactly it is that I assume it is anim objects. Yeah. I assume it is this guy. Let's test that with a return here. Yeah. If that's the case, then the next question is how do we fix that? Because that might not be straightforward. Yeah, it's quite a bit of work, isn't it? Good. I don't know why it does so much compiling now. Yeah, okay. So now it doesn't update the rotor. Okay, so that is responsible. This is responsible, yeah. Okay, how do we sync these now? So let's remove the return. Okay, so the problem is we are advancing this here. And then I guess that like when the frame how does it if it's still too far out, reset. Frame 0 backwards. Frame is okay. Int num frames. I hope I did no mistakes here. Okay. Okay. So So wherever it does compute current frame, here, frame, and then enum update frame, yeah, enum update h3 frame, it's a float, get translation. Oh, they have quaternions, really? Wow, they do have quaternion. I thought they didn't have that. Interesting. Well, they sure made sure to not use it much. It's the first time I see the quaternion here in the code. Wow. That's interesting. Wow. Okay, so yeah, how do we deal with this now? Enum update. Yeah. What we could do is we could maybe call enum update. I assume it is enum update, does it? Frame. Huh. Why don't we use, what is this? What? Enum updates. We pass mode enum motion, mode enum frame. What is this? Well, why is it doing this? If motion. It's not passing the right things here, I think. Transform. Enum update. Matrix root. Matrix. What is this? Root. Also matrix. Transform. Motion. I don't quite understand what this shit here is for. It looks like it calls it with the exact same things, right? Only exception is that it calls it different. Motion. Why don't we just make enum updates? Transform mode in a motion. Yeah. So to me, it looks like we can just pass here root, motion, and frame as well. Unless, of course, we can't. Yeah, like this. Okay, but that's beside the point. So, enum updates. So it's called in here. So I think this can be static. Or not. It can't be static. Oh, shit. Okay, so enum updates. Yeah. So wherever this guy is called, which is here. Yeah, so what we can say is that yeah. So we could say if ww3d gets sync frame time is not 0, only then we do the updates. Maybe. That would keep it in sync, I think. Yeah. Let's see. 90. Let's put that at 10. Okay. Then we take a recording. Okay, I think that's good enough. Then let's play that back. Okay, so. Okay, that works. It's not particularly easy to watch this guy. How about we watch a Chinook? Let's get an Air Force here. Ah, I already have a chopper here. Okay, let's take a look at this guy. So we do 10 logic timescale. Let's record a video. Okay, cool. Okay, let's play that back. Okay, that looks correct to me. Okay, so the object animations are now only updated when the logic is also stepping and everything else is stepping, so that everything is stepping at the same time. I think that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, let's add a comment here because this probably requires a bit of intel. At tweak, only step animation updates only when on step the animation update only on a WW3D, on a WW sync to step the animation update only on a WW sync. WW sync only. These could be uncoupled if this could be This could be uncoupled, but for as long as well, let me see. These could be uncoupled if the animations hold on, isn't this hold on, we probably should get this into programmatically, right? Because these animations, let me notepads. Let me go back. Okay, let me put a breakpoint here. So the mode anim motion num frames 21 here, frame rates, that's the kicker. So we need to work with this one, right? So in our case, our logic step is 30 FPS, so it matches the animation, and that's why we only want to update the animation when we have our logic step. Okay, so that's simple. That's why this works, but it's not quite correctly implemented. So let's say we had a 60 FPS animation. Then we could update it on every logic frame, but also in between, right? Like half a logic frame. We could then also update the animation, right? So how do we do that? How do we do that? So I don't know if the frame rate could also be 45 FPS, right? Could have different frame rates. Maybe we need to say if the frame rate matches our logic step. If the frame rate matches our logic update tick, then we sync it with our WW sync. Otherwise, we let it loose. But then but that doesn't sound right. It would be okay for, like, if it was just a wild FPS, like let's say FPS of 55, right? And then if you had a 30 FPS logic update, then 55, yeah, it would not be interleaved at all. But let's say we do have this 60 FPS animation and 30 FPS logic update, then these could interleave. Okay, how do we implement that? Probably very simple. I just can't think of it right now. Sync frame time. The frame. Motion. Yeah. Frame rate 30. Yeah. Frame rate 30. 30 FPS. 30 FPS. How do we do this? So the simplest solution would be to just if the frame rate matches our our logic step update, then we sync them up. Otherwise not, right? That's the simplest, straightforward. But if we want to have it a bit better than that, we're working with floats. So we're working with floats. Let me ask ChatGPT for some hints. Maybe there's some answer here. I have a I have a logic step of 30 FPS in my video game, and animations. I have a logic step of 30 FPS. Unlimited render FPS, and animation and object animation object animation FPS of 30 in my video game. How can I interleave? No, not inter. How can I sync of 30? Let's say 30 or 60. How can I sync the animations to play on full or half logic steps, regardless of the render FPS? I play on full or half logic steps. Let's see. Got it. Let's see. Animations to sync with logic. Full step, half step. Your logic fixed is the ground truth. Animation playback should advance based on logic ticks, not render frames. This way, animations stay deterministic and reproducible, even if rendering fluctuates. 2 modes of animation tick. Full step, 30 FPS. Advanced animation once per logic step. Advanced animation twice per logic step. Twice. You subdivide the logic step into 2 half steps. You don't need to actually run game logic twice per step. Just interpolate animation time. Each logic tick for 30 FPS. Advanced animation time. Tracking a sub counter. Interpolates. Well, that's what we can't do. Advanced twice per logic step. I don't want to do that. Okay, it's not the answer that I hoped for. I would like this logic to be as versatile as possible. No matter what animation FPS we throw at it, it should just work. Now something like 55 FPS animation would not sync up well, but 30 FPS and 60 FPS should. Animation time stepping system. Time accumulator approach. Time accumulator. One new frame every tick, 2 new frames every tick. Yeah, but I want to, I don't want to do, no. I don't, I do not want to, I do not want to play multiple frames. I do not want to play multiple frames every logic step. But multiple animation frames every logic step of 30 FPS. But sync them up in a way that for a 60 FPS animation, one frame would be right on every logic step, but the next frame would be between the first, the current, the previous, and the next logic step. Since FPS is uncapped, it can be rendered. Cramming multiple animation updates into one logic tick, you want the animation clock itself to run continuously. Yes. 30 FPS, each new anim frame lines up exactly with the logic step. Yes. At 60 FPS, every other anim frame lands right on a logic step, and the in-between frames fall halfway between two logic steps. Yes, since render is uncapped, those half-step frames can still be shown at render time via interpolation. Yeah. Solution: decouple animation clock from logic clock. Yeah. Maintain a global game time. Animation clock. For blending. Animations run on real interpolated time. Okay, what is this doing? This fmod here? Anim time. Animations run on real interpolated time. Yeah, okay. Frame duration. Anim FPS. Current frame. Anim time divided by frame duration. Okay. Floor. Okay, but we have a frame. That's not a problem. We already calculate that by just doing plus. Okay, what is this doing? Anim time. Frame duration. Fmod. Frame duration. Anim time. What is this current frame then doing here? I don't understand. What does he want to do with the alpha now? Okay, I don't quite understand what ChatGPT is proposing there. Let me think about this. So we have render frame time. We have a frame. This frame. That's our current frame. Yeah. Synced. Sync. Sync. I don't even know what fmod is. Let's see what fmod is. Fmod C++. Math. Fmod, but not remainder, is useful for doing silent wrapping of floating point types to unsigned integer types. What? What? Returns a floating point remainder of the division. Ah, it's modulo. Ah, it's modulo. Right. Float modulo. Okay. Frame duration. Can you explain this more? Seconds per frame. Blend. I don't understand what to do with this blend here. How far we are between this and the next frame. which animation frame we are in. Current frame. We know current frame. We have that tracked, so that's not the problem. So but the question is, nice try. That doesn't align. What's going on here with this? Oh boy. So I do have this. We have this as well. We have a render time. Well, we have a render frame time. What will the blend do? So frame duration, okay. Time, I don't know, divided by that. Blend. How far we are between this and the next frame. What do I do with the blend? So the FPS enum 0 milliseconds, current frame blend, current frame 0, blend 0. Yeah, no, we can't blend it that way. The animation frames, they are well, maybe that would be a way to blend these guys. Yeah, I mean that would also be interesting if we could blend the enum updates. But the frame is the frame is a float. Huh. Base pose. Get translation. Frame. Motion. Motion. Get translation. Frame. Get orientation. Okay, and what does it do internally? Float. Okay, it's interesting that it accepts a float frame, but how does it get the data then? So let's say raw enum class frame. There's some rounding here. And then okay, it becomes an integer frame. Flat along. So a 0 frame would be minus 0.51, and that would become minus 1. Maybe, yeah. And then float along, what does it do? Oof. Oof. Okay, well, that's great. Okay, so it probably frame 0 will be frame 0. Ah, no, hold on. Oof. Oof, ratio. Oh boy, what is this? Lerp. It does lerp. Ratio. Huh. Okay, so it looks like it wants to lerp there in between these two guys. Why does this not work then? Huh. Okay, so it looks like there was the intention to lerp between two animation frames here. For the orientation as well. Huh. Huh. Okay. Okay. Maybe we should visit that, yeah. And figure out what is going on. Oof. Okay. Oh, he closed that, okay. Okay. Under what circumstances does this cause a mismatch? The reference issue contains a reply. No refresh steps. A retail player will play with the SH player, and retail will put a saboteur in a selling building. The SHA client won't allow it and then cause a mismatch. Run the replay and observe the mismatch. stop moving as soon as the target building is sold. Surely a mismatch message. Okay. 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 That would also prevent left clicking from selecting, which would be a regression. Okay. That would also prevent left clicking from selecting the unit. That would also prevent left clicking from selecting the unit. Prevent left clicking. I really don't know. Like, just like logically, to me, it sounds like there could be a simpler fix. I mean, if the original bug behavior just 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 by logic, originally the the bug behavior did not require changes in this function to work. I probably would need to test it myself then. I don't know. I really don't know what the proper fix is. Would need to investigate, but just intuitively to me, it sounds like that there should be a way to do this better. Not that it matters much, but yeah. Put another infantry unit. It would deselect the infantry. Yeah. Oh. Yes. I'll make another pass. Okay, I would say next session we look into this guy here and see how that works. Is this interpolation also happening in the other guys in NM class? Oh, that one is empty. Oh. Compressed. Yeah. Okay, so this one is not interpolating. This one is interpolating. And oddly, this one is empty. Ah, it's a base class. And it's a virtual function, I see. To do remove. Why was it not removed? Okay, let's remove these guys. Yeah. Okay, so I think we also will need to test a bit, like if it actually goes in there. So there's this one class which doesn't have interpolation, the compressed one. But that seems to be like a bug, right? We could also interpolate these guys. Yeah, I don't see why we can't interpolate this one. Modchan. Ah, it does. Interpolates. Never mind. Okay. So there's interpolation here as well. Okay, so I assume all these guys have interpolation, but then why does it not work? Seems like maybe it's a bug. That would actually be the best if the interpolation would work. Yeah. Then we don't need any tricks, right? Yeah. I mean, let's put a breakpoint there and take a look at it. Okay. So I think it doesn't matter what animation we look at. Could be any. Okay, so let's put the helix here in view. So that's the only thing that has an animation right now. Good, let's put a breakpoint here. So the frame is 30. Ah, it is a full frame. Oh. Oh. It doesn't go on. Huh, it only does full frames. No, hold on. Maybe that's only because we put breakpoints here. That could be, right? Right. Right, it's also because we don't actually have... There we go. Let's try again. There we go. Okay, so now we have a fraction. Let's get some different kind of fraction here. That looks like a good fraction. 11.89. Okay, that's cool. Let's take a look what happens. So it is a raw enum. Enum update. Okay, what happens? Oh, it makes it an iframe. get integer frame. Oh. Excludes interpolation. Why? This one is with interpolation, yeah? Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, so the question is, why did they make this explicitly without interpolation? Why? Huh. Maybe it causes some bugs or... Update. How about we... So this needs to be motion. Refactor. Enum. Minor cleanup and simplification. Clean up and simplify animation code a bit. Okay, and then so what I'm thinking is that maybe we should rename this guy to enum update without interpolation. Yeah. And then put that here. And then we do enum update. Now, the question is motion. Why is this raw enum specific? This function here, is this not a virtual? It's not. Node motion. Get node motion array. Node motion. Multiply. Don't update this pivot. Iframe. Translate. Scale. Get vector squad. Enum update without interpolation. Okay, let's just see what happens if we don't call this guy. So we have enum updates, and who's calling this? Here. So basically we no longer do this. We just call enum update. There we go. Okay, let's see how that looks. I hope it looks good, but it could be risky. Okay, let's take a look at the Helix helicopter. Okay, let's put the frame right there. Okay, so 30. Let me see. It looks relatively smooth. Let's okay, that's cool. So the interpolation does actually work. Now the question is, why did they disable it then? Look at that, even it works even here. The interpolation on the lights. Could there be any reason that they disabled this? I mean, look at this. It looks so smooth now, the animation. Everything is smooth. everything looks so much better. Only the particles, they don't have interpolation. Look at this. We have perfect slow motion animations. Could maybe also interpolate the particles here. Yeah. Huh. I mean, it looks really good, right? So I wonder. Yeah, I wonder. Interesting. Okay, how does it look at 30? Yeah, I think that's even better than what I initially had planned. I mean, this looks pretty smooth now. that's pretty cool. Cool. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think we can go with that. It's unclear to me why they disabled that. Yeah. Strange. Huh. Interesting. Okay. I think I will take a break here. Yeah, I think we made some good progress. Then next session I will clean this change up. And then, yeah, there's still some more to do. I'm quite surprised how deep the rabbit hole goes here. There's quite a lot. Okay, good. Then I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.